The Germans were quoted as saying, "What did you hate most about the American army?" And they said, "The artillery." They just fired so many shells at that mountain. I guess they call it $1 Million Hill, yeah.
With the $1 Million Hill taken, Americans advanced to the more open country beyond Monte Camino. But the smaller hills are even more fortified and harder to take. It's not until the middle of January that the last of these hills falls. 1 mile away is the Rapido River, and right behind that lies Monte Cassino. The 5th Army, using 8 divisions, has taken 6 weeks to advance 8 miles, suffering nearly 16,000 casualties. But now there's a new aggressive push. A simultaneous amphibious landing is set to take place at Anzio, 30 miles to the north. The troops already moving through the Italian hills must launch an immediate offensive against the Gustav Line to draw the German reinforcements away from the Anzio area. The 36th Division is to spearhead the drive. Troops like Al Dietrich are conserving their strength.
You didn't wait for night to sleep. There was a system that all armed infantry units used, the buddy-buddy system. There's 2 of you per foxhole. One slept while the other one stayed on guard. And you decided among yourselves whether you want to sleep 2 hours or 3 or 4. Our commanding general, General Walker, he says, it's been written that no river that has been used as a main line of defense has ever been breached in history. So I think that pretty well sums it up, that there had to be a different strategy to cross that river or get to the enemy on the other side of that river.
With the heavily fortified Monte Cassino looking down on them, the troops have to hope there will be another strategy. On January 20th, 1944, Allied troops camped at the Rapido River and make a concerted attack on the Gustav Line at the German stronghold of Monte Cassino. They want to break through the line, but they must also create a diversion and tie up German units, while other American and British soldiers make a landing at Anzio. The toughest assignment falls to the 36th Division.
The regiment jumped off on schedule. Every man was supposed to carry an extra bandolier ammunition across with him, which is like an invasion. This is an invasion across the river of the enemy side, just like coming into Salerno, you brought extra ammunition. They managed to get the most of 1 battalion across, but the other battalions had difficulty, the same as the 141st. Artillery, poor visibility, equipment getting shot up, didn't get them demoralized, lost sense of direction. The Germans could hear the movement of some 1,500 to 2,000 troops moving in the night, and they had pre-registered all of their artillery on that river, and they just opened up.
German artillery prevents the building of a pontoon bridge across the river. All boats, footbridges, and telephone wires are destroyed. The men who have gotten to the German side of the river run out of ammunition. They try to return, but only the strong swimmers are able to get to safety. In this operation, 1,681 men of the Texas Division are lost. The only benefit of the battle is that the Allied assault on Cassino succeeds in bringing more German reinforcements to the Gustav Line and making the landing at Anzio easier. Still bogged down, the Allies plan a second attack on Monte Cassino, but the question of the monastery on top of the mountain plagues the Allies.
The bombing of the monastery, I agree with General Walker, our commander, said, well, the abbey is not being manned by Germans, so they're just observers. But if we bomb the abbey and destroy it, they still remain up there. The height is still there. You can't flatten the mountain.
The decision is made that the 10-foot thick walls will give the Germans a second line of defense, so the monastery must be bombed. On February 14th, leaflets are dropped to the abbot, 5 monks, and 200 refugees living in the monastery. They are warned that the site will be attacked, and no specific date is given. The 80-year-old abbot asks the Germans to provide an escort to safety. He is assured they will have their escort within 2 days. The next day, with everyone still inside the monastery, both the Allied troops and the Germans hear the sound of bombers approaching.
Bombing the Abbey certainly was on target. They completely destroyed it, but later, as General Clark said, you can't move the enemy out with bombing alone. You have to have infantry go in. And when all the dust settled and the infantry tried to make their moves, the Germans were still there.
Since no one has been notified of the timing of the air assault, the unprepared British troops see this as an opportunity to attack. But they are at half strength, and their advance comes with a terrible cost in lives. They advance on the north to within 1,000 yards of Monte Cassino and the railroad station on the south end of the town of Cassino. But they can advance no further. This second attack on Monte Cassino has ended in a deadlock.
When the bombing failed to result in taking the hill, the Germans moved into the monastery, and so they used the ruined abbey now as a defensive position.